Montreal. Okay. Hello everyone. Today is very special day for me that I'm doing this video with Ariane. She is my colleague and my friend, and I just want to share that I really enjoy her friendship. And when I came here in Montreal, I didn't have a lot of friends. And first time when I was like feeling little bored during Christmas, I reached out to her, do you want to go out? And then she was like, yes, whenever you want to go. And then that's where it is all started. And I'm really glad that I found her. So Ayan, now it's up to you. How would you like to describe our friendship and share anything about yourself?
So like you said, I mean, we met when we started working together in October 2022, and right away you were very friendly. You're a very friendly person generally, so it's very nice how you automatically approached me, and then we started talking, and then since then we started hanging out more. And because I knew that you were alone here in the city, so I wanted to also like hang out with you more and get to know you. So it was nice. I think overall I was very lucky to have made a friend so fast.
Thank you so much, Ariane. And do you wanna talk about yourself? Like, how did you get this job at Selcarta?
Yes, so I was working in the States in Frederick, Maryland, and then I needed to come back to Canada for my permanent residence status. And so when I came back, I started applying to jobs in my field right away. And I was very lucky to get that interview with Selcarta, and I got the offer the same day after the interview. So that was very nice. So I didn't have to do a lot of searching once I returned to Canada.
So when did you return back to Canada for your PR?
Around the first week of October. Yeah.
And then you got by third week of October.
By the third week of October, I got a job. So I was very lucky.
Very, very lucky. And do you wanna share how you started in Canada? Like first, when did you come to Canada?
Yes, I first came to Canada when I was 18 in 2015. I came as a student. I studied biology at Concordia, and so I came from the States. I mean, I'm not from the States, but I came from there. My family lives there, so I needed to find like so a degree or university here in Canada. So I applied to Concordia, which was the only university that the deadline didn't pass, because at first I didn't want to come to Canada. So I didn't apply to a lot of the universities, so the deadline were passing, so Concordia was the only one that was left really. But like it was a bit last minute, but I still managed to get in, and I came to Canada.
So that you said that you didn't want to come to Canada. What was the reason? Like, what did you in the beginning? What did you think? What sort of like college you want to go in? What sort of like degree you wanna apply for? Were there any like decision making before you decide to come to Canada?
Well, the degree is the same, biology, so that didn't change. But I was living in Maryland. That's where I did my high school. So after I finished, I applied to some universities in Maryland because that's where my family was. So I think I didn't want to go to a place that was far from them. So I got into university that was like 1 or 2 hours away from where we lived. It was still the same state. and I visited the campus and everything. I really liked it. So I think that's why I didn't want to leave that university. It was mostly about not wanting to leave that university because I really liked it. But yeah,
Why did you leave that university then?
because but long story short, my dad job helps pay tuition if I studied outside of the United States. So it was smarter.
Yeah, it was economic.
It was economic to come to Canada, and school in America is expensive.
Yeah,
so
a lot of people,
even without the help, it would have been way too expensive. It would be better to study in Canada.
Yeah, that a lot of our a lot of people I've met here, they come for the same reason because school is cheaper here.
Yeah, school is cheaper here in general, so it makes more sense.
So how did you choose biology?
I chose biology because in high school it was my favorite subject. I really liked biology. And also there was when I was very young, I thought also going to medical school. I mean, by then when I applied for biology, I still wasn't sure, but at least I knew I liked biology, so I applied for it. And
a lot of people, I would say, who want to go to medical school, they have found job in this company. I think, one of the person we both know is Franco. He also wanted to go for medical school. I think in our job kind of works in that fashion that we help some way in the medical field. So that's really nice. And Ariane, now we are shifting to know more about your early childhood. So I know that you moved from Benin.
No, from Chad.
From Chad. Sorry.
It's okay.
So from there you moved to United States. So how was that? How old were you when you moved to United States?
I was 13. When 13 going 14 when you moved from Chad to United States. Yes. And so I was born and raised in Chad, in the N'Djamena, the capital city. And
how do you spell
N'Djamena.
it?
And the spelling is Ndjamena.
But it is the NA is silent.
Yes, the N is almost silent. Yes.
N'Djamena.
Yes.
Yeah. So you grew up there until 13.
Yeah, and then we moved my family to the States.
Yeah. So do you wanna talk about how was your schooling back in Chad?
Chad follows the French system in a way. So I mean, it's just there's high school, there's primary school, and then you have what they call it college, which is middle school type kind of, and then you have high school. So it's a bit similar to the American over here. Yes.
Yeah, especially.
So you start school at 5, and then you finish at 17, 18, and then you do the baccalaureate.
Okay.
Which is
equivalent to bachelor, I think.
It's not bachelor, just a high school diploma. It's the name is similar, but it's different in Quebec. In Quebec, the baccalaureate is the bachelor, but in the French system, the baccalaureate is just high school diploma. It's an exam you do at the end. But I didn't go through all the way, obviously, because I left at 13. So I left my last year of middle school, basically.
Okay, so you which grade? Is there any grade system or?
Yes, the grade system we call it troisième. But the American equivalent would be 9th grade. Yeah.
Okay, so just before high school.
Yes, just before high school.
So that's very interesting time to change your surroundings and go to new country. Do you want to share your experience, your first memories when you moved to US? What surprises did you find, or how much do you recall your own understanding of that world?
My first memory of the States was how scared I was in high school. because I came to the States, and then about like a month later, I was enrolled to a public American school. So it was a public school. I didn't speak English at all, and so just it was a very scary few months because I didn't understand what anybody was saying in front of me. I didn't know like what was going on. The system was a bit different. You know, like in my country, students stay in the classroom. The teachers come in the classroom. Right? So you stay in one class all with your classmates, and you don't change that classmates throughout the whole year. But in the United States, students move from classroom to classroom to see the teachers, and that was scary for me. Like leaving one classroom to go to another classroom. I don't know where the classroom is. I cannot ask anybody where it is. Yeah, and you know, culturally it's different too. People are more open here. You know, in my country, people are more conservative. So even the way they were dressing was different.
Yeah.
And I had a uniform back in my country, but in America there was no uniform. So it was a big shift. Yeah.
Yes, I can imagine. Like, but how did you deal with not knowing any English back then?
I was enrolled into a French class, so there were a couple of like French-speaking students who were in that French class. So they slowly explained to me a little bit how to navigate stuff, you know. So, but it was still touch and go at the beginning. Like I still had to just learn as I go and figure it out. Yeah.
So did you enroll for your English classes just right after like you moved there, or did you? Like, how did you start learning English?
I had to start learning English in the school system, right? But like they had an ESL program, so English as a second language program in the high schools. So they didn't put me in the same English class as the Americans.
Yeah,
so it's a different English class for people like me who had to learn English from scratch, basically. So it was interesting, but I liked it because of that program, I met people from different countries and I learned a lot from their cultures. So which is something I'd really like to do. So yeah, it was hard at the beginning, but it got easier over time.
So when you talk about this English as a second language, so there are so many shows on it. Have you watched this movie called English Pinglish?
No, I haven't.
By Sri Devi. There's like famous Indian actress.
Oh, okay.
You would like it. So she goes to US for the first time in her life. She never spoke English in her lifetime, and then she went for her niece's wedding there in US from India, and then she started learning English in US. English as second language, but you learned in school, but she was like enrolled in some.
Yeah.
There are programs, I think.
Yes. There are programs outside of high school too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And so how did that go? Like, did you like it?
Yes, I liked my ESL program a lot. The teachers were very nice and very compassionate. So they help you out even for stuff that are outside of the program. So like usually students are assigned to a counselor, like an advisor. But sometimes ESL students have a hard time speaking to the advisors. But so our teachers will basically serve as our advisors in a way. They will try to talk to our advisors, so explain to them, you know, what we're going through. So it was very nice. Like the teachers were very kind.
Yeah, so I'm really interested. I have not like really learned a lot about like how public school works in US, and it would be nice for a lot of people who are watching this like to know about how does that work, like public school system. Like do you have to pay any sort of fee, or like is it expensive in a way, or like how does that system work?
It's free. I think it depends on your status. You know, if you come in as like an international student, so just like at a university, you will pay a fee because you're an international student. But we had a temporary residence status, so we didn't pay a fee to the school. We just had to pay for food, which is something that I think most American students didn't have to pay for the cafeteria, but we had to pay for the cafeteria but it wasn't a lot. It was like
Yeah, but that is nice that at least you get free food, like if you are like US
yeah,
citizen,
yeah,
I think.
yeah. If you're an American, like usually the food is free. I think unless you're making like a lot of money, but most people eat for free at the cafeteria. So yeah, for me, the high school is free. Yeah.
That was nice. So you just stayed for a couple of years there. How
Yeah.
many years?
I stayed in the States for like 4 years. So basically, my whole high school. Yeah.
Okay, so 4 years of high school.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so high school for you is different than what is for India. So for us, it's just like how high school means we pass until 10th standard. Then we have plus 2, which is called 12th standard.
Okay.
So we have, so it's basically the same 4 years, but you guys call it high school.
Yeah.
We call it like you are like 12th pass.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very like until you are 12th pass, you cannot go to college.
Yeah, yes, basically, yeah.
Okay, so you after like after your high school, you started to look for colleges, and then you came here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ariane, that's what like you talked about your first memory. But do you like want to talk your any personal insight growing up in US? Like I know you grew up in Chad like for most of your childhood, but I think that shift that you grew up in US, that period is also important for our mind because we are growing so fast.
Yeah.
Our bodies are changing, and we are just like going into womanhood. And
Yeah.
do you wanna talk about like it, how you're like?
Yeah, the shift. It's like I said earlier, Chad is more conservative as a country. So, but like my childhood was, I think it was like just like any other people's childhood, very carefree. And also Chad is a much poorer country. So small things like, for example, I didn't have access to internet the same way as American kids did. So coming to the States, I had to learn how to use the internet, you know.
Yeah.
And so I use like computers and stuff like that. So that was a shift for me. But now like internet is in Chad.
Yeah.
So, but back then I didn't have access to the internet and stuff like that. And what else? And growing up, it was a bit difficult because in the States, like even though people are more like liberal outside, so like you know, teenagers will go out a lot, you know, they have like jobs, they start working very early at 15, 16. In Chad, usually that age, kids are more like at home, they still focus on school, they don't start working yet unless it's like vacation.
Yes.
Yeah, but usually like, during school time, kids don't work and stuff like that. So that was a change. I wanted to work just like other kids do, but my parents didn't want me to work. It was harder too because my status didn't permit me to just work like the other kids too. So yeah. Those were the difference.
Yeah, so when you talk about like, it must be really like challenging for you to learn new language in first few years, like, and then there is like whole academic syllabus that you would have there. Were there any challenges academically that you had to adapt to when you started your schooling in US?
Yeah, I think it felt as if I was learning everything from scratch, you know, because you have to learn the terms in another language.
Yeah, of course.
So stuff like math or even science were a bit difficult. I think the reason why I ended up liking biology so much, it was the only one that it wasn't hard to learn, because I feel like a lot of the terms are in Latin and stuff like that, so you know, it wasn't hard. But math, physics were hard to learn again from scratch, and yeah, even the English language was easier than I thought it would be, because I picked it up like within a year. But it's still I lacked confidence in speaking the language itself. So at first I wasn't sure if I could speak English. Like I understood it, I could read it, but I was afraid to speak it for the longest time. So yeah.
Those are the things, like, but I feel like you catched up on English really fast, because for us, like, we start learning English, like, us means like in India, most of the like kids, they start learning English as soon as they go to start schooling, and then since then they keep learning until 10th standard, because we don't use it as much, like, because our curriculum is also in Hindi sometime, and we only speak Hindi. Like, if somebody is from North India, so that's why, like, I took like, I would say, to proficiently speak English, maybe like a lot many years than you took, because you were like in that surrounding already, you would have to speak.
Exactly, like I had no choice, because I felt like if I started to learn slowly, you know, if they put me in like French school when I arrived to the States, it would take longer for me to pick it up, you know? But you know, I was put in a public American school, so I had no choice, because even though, like, even the ESL teachers, a lot of them came from different countries, but they didn't speak French. So at the end of the day, even to speak to them, it's like hard to
you have
speak
to
English.
If you would have chances to speak French, you might have just thought that, okay, it's not that like it's not that like important to just grab everything. So that's really good strategy when you must have to speak, and then you just learn so fast. Ariane, so I wanna know more about like your family bonding. Oh, there is like some bug. So how is your bonding with your sisters? I know you have two sisters. How your growing up memories are with them?
Yes, I have two sisters. I'm 5 years apart from the first one, and I'm 7 years apart from the second one. So despite the age gap, I think we're close. We talk often, particularly with the one who's came right after me, the oldest one. So yeah, I think we were quite close, and I don't know, growing up, coming to the States, I think made us closer, because we were all living in the same situation. So I mean, our experiences were a little different, but overall I think we understood each other better than other people. So
that's nice, and it's always blessing to have sisters. You can share anything to them anytime, and also without any thought that you don't have to feel concerned about sharing anything. So that's really nice, because I always find that sisters are the best thing that happened to you, that you can like share any emotional thing with them. And so Ariane, tell me about like how the shift from Chad to US were for your parents.
I'll say I think it was probably even harder for them, because you know, they lived all their lives in Chad. I mean, they studied university outside, but they always returned. So I think it was a bit harder for them than for us. But they spoke English before they came to the States. So the language wasn't the problem. I think it's just adapting to a new environment, to a new culture, to a new way of life. I think that was a little bit tough for transition, but I think they managed.
So you told me that they both are in finance, right?
Yes, my dad is finance and economy. My mom is more like statistics, and then later on she did a degree in finance.
That's very interesting. And did you ever think about having another career, like other than that you are in right now? Like, did you ever imagine that you could have navigated like a different career?
Yes. In high school, besides biology, I really liked history a lot. So there was I thought about history, but at the same time, there was always like the thought of what if we return to my country, right? Because we were just temporary residents in the United States. So what if I were to return to my country? What would I do with a history degree? Basically, so you have to think about a useful degree that you can do. And when I was in university, I also thought of psychology, because also like I thought about how helpful those advisors were with me in school. So yeah, I thought of psychology or history, but yeah.
I must say, like, you must, if you would have followed your history thing, you could have become a professor, but it takes a lot of time. I know. I'm just like imagining in my head how you would be as history professor now.
Yeah.
The career are shifting. I must say, like, the fields are shifting in this new era. Even like now, maybe they don't get enough funding for his history department. I know how like professors struggle to continue their research and like their work when they pursue those kind of subjects, because they don't get direct money.
Yeah.
So I understand, but like I must say that you know history facts so vividly every time I talk to you, that I feel like I don't know anything. But so like, do you still find it interesting? Do you keep that interest going? Let's go.
Let's move,
because we don't have a second part. We wanna do like a quick question answer round. So which kind of food do you like?
I like all kind of food. I like anything that's strong in flavor. So either very sweet, very spicy, or very salty. So I like I have a sweet tooth, so I like pastries, I like ice cream, and also I like spicy food.
Yeah, and I must tell you guys that Ariane loves Indian food, and because it's as much spicy as she likes, so we belong there. So, yeah. And second question I want to ask, which kind of books you read? Because as you told me that you have so much interest in history, and your knowledge shows actually that you have great interest in history. So tell me about which kind of books you read.
I read historical fiction. I read mystery novels, thrillers. I read like women's fiction. I started reading non-fiction recently, but usually I prefer fiction.
Fiction is always better. I'm telling you guys, fiction is love. And I must tell you, there is like some scientists that specify that like fiction actually has better effects on your nervous system than reading non-fiction book.
Okay.
Anything, because the way fiction works with our nervous system is amazing. It calms, it soothes, and it gives you imagination in the way non-fiction can never. I am not saying that non-fiction is not good. I'm just saying fiction is much more beneficial for your mental health than non-fiction. Good for learning non-fiction, but and also the learning that can be because I'm very interested in neuroscience, so the learnings which can be conveyed through fiction in a simpler way can never be conveyed through non-fiction.
And it's easier to learn while you're being entertained, right, while you're having fun.
And also when you think it's not real, it's all like it's all fiction, then you kind of learn better. So I would like to ask you on that note, which books have you read this year? Any memorable reads?
This year I read currently I'm reading Things Are Falling Apart by Chinua Achebe. He's a Nigerian author. It's a very famous book, but I'm just now starting to read it. I will check it out. I read a book which was your recommendation. It's Love Hypothesis.
Very like nervous system kind of book.
I mean, I'm not used to reading romance, but I actually enjoyed it. So, thank you for introducing to me. And I read what book did I read? A book called Night Bloom.
Night Bloom.
Yes. It's believe it's set in Ghana. And another book that I read,
What is it about, Night
it's,
Bloom?
it's about it follows the story of two friends who had like a falling out early on. So you kind of see their perspective, how they both saw the conflict, and it's very interesting because they come from different environments. One is very wealthy, the other one is not. One's parents are live in the city, in the capital city. The other one, she lost her mom very young. So you kind of see the world in their eyes, and
It's interesting read. I would check it out.
And one of my favorite books this year was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. The Seven, it's a popular book as well.
It's history fiction, I think.
Yes, history fiction. Yes.
Yeah.
So those are the few books I read.
Interesting. And second, any new hobby that you found this year?
I'm still looking for a hobby. Actually, I've not found any new hobby this year. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out.
But you should talk about like that you found some interesting ideas of your for your food, like you start eating salad.
Yes. I'm starting to like change my diet because the spicy food is not good for me for the long term. As my doctor told me many times, I should cut down on my spicy food. I should cut down on fat and stuff like that. So I'm trying to find like what food goes well with me. So trying out new stuff, trying different restaurants, different type of foods, you know. And even you introduced me a lot to vegetarian food, so that was also interesting.
Maybe I can cook more for you. Maybe
I will not say no.
And the other question that I want to ask you, and it's a suggestion, would you ever be interested in doing yoga or maybe like some physical activities in a group?
I've been thinking of either joining a yoga class or Pilates class.
That would be really interesting. Dawun was telling that we should go for Zumba classes.
Too. But it's just our schedule makes it hard.
But now you're going to morning, I think. We don't know, but maybe we'll see. And our schedule doesn't allow, in a sense that I've been looking for new hobby as well. But I just I don't want to go alone. Like for the beginning.
Exactly. And I know like it's hard to do it. Like when I was in Frederick, working there, Frederick, Maryland, I actually joined a kickboxing class. But it was hard like to go alone. Like I went to the first 2 classes with my sister. That was easy. And then I did the last class, like third class, and then that's it. Because it's hard to like go alone and
and finding new things. It's actually we would figure this out because I have like few people have already talked to me about it, that they want to join something, and maybe I can talk to them about it. And the other question that I would like to ask you, how do you manage living alone?
Well, I manage living alone by trying to find a routine. I do have a routine, and it helps. I think it helps making time, remembering what's important. Like when do you do your laundry, when do you cook, when do you meal prep, stuff like that. So it's important to have like a routine that you stick to. And also like I'm an introverted kind of person, so I don't mind living alone actually. So just like having your own space sometimes is nice too. Because I grew up with a lot of people around me. Even back in my country, like besides my family, my nuclear family, we had like a lot of extended family. So for me, living alone is also like a way to just have your own personal space. So.
And also I must share that she has so many family members here in Montreal. Still she's saying she lives alone.
Yes, I live alone, but I'm lucky that I have people here too.
You
know, I think it's harder if you live in a city, you live alone, and then you don't have family around. I can imagine that would be so much harder. But yes, I have aunts, I have uncles, I have cousins, I have a lot of people here in the city. So
you're so lucky.
I'm lucky.
That's such a true blessing. And other things that I want to talk to you about is how did you find Montreal? Like in the beginning when you came here on your own, how was it?
When I first came here, I found it interesting how the French was really different from mine. Like, because I spoke French before I came here. I knew the French was a little different because I watched Canadian movies before back in my country. But I get to the airport and like the guy at the airport speaks to me in French because like my passport has French in it, and I cannot understand him. And then like I went to the mall the same day, same thing. I couldn't understand the French, so they just switched to English with me. So at first I panicked a little bit. I was like, oh my god, I'm now in a country where I thought I spoke the language and I don't. I mean, I speak English, but I thought that Montreal was mostly French. But turns out it's very bilingual.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to worry about that. And over time, I learned to understand their French better.
And now you speak like them?
I don't speak like them yet, but I can understand them better. I feel like they have a harder time understanding me. I feel like my accent is a bit harder to.
I won't say that.
Because I have to repeat myself a lot sometimes. If I speak in English, they understand all at once. But if I speak French, they have to ask me again. What did you say? What did you say again and again? So.
Yeah, but at work, I never found that people don't understand you.
Yeah.
I think here, like they understand different kind of French also at work because it's like a work situation.
Different accents.
Yeah, and also people. And how do you find Derek's French? You told me that he speaks really good French.
I think he speaks better French than me.
Yeah, you told me like this information, but that's really nice. Does he speak American French or like actual French?
He speaks French like people here.
Really?
Yeah, he speaks French with the Quebec accent. Yeah, which is very impressive. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I think I'm done with my questions. We'll catch up maybe next time, if there would be any next time. Of course, if I ask her, she would not say no. So we'll end our video here. Do you have any message for the people watching here?
Just stay safe and
Stay blessed.
Stay blessed. That's it.
Enjoy your time and please like, subscribe to this video, and also not this video, to my channel. Please like this video and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.